Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. Today we will be reacting to the second episode of the first season of Smallville called Metamorphosis. Now, last episode was the pilot episode. It actually was a great episode of the show. It set up the Kent family, the Luthor family, and their dynamic. It set up the budding friendship of Clark and Lex and how you see their friendship start to develop before you see Lex become the Lex we all know, and Clark becoming Superman we all know. So I've always thought that's a cool angle for the show to go into. It's very, very different from other interpretations of these two characters, so that's always fun to see. We also got to meet Lana, his high school crush, and kind of semi-stalking her through the telescope in his room, but you can see, you know, she's very, very sweet, but they have a connection with, you know, losing their parents very young and both being adopted, and you get to see their friendship coming. We also got to meet two of his friends, Chloe and Pete, and so we got to see their dynamic and their friendship with him as well, with the Wall of Weird, and seeing that when Clark came down, the meteors came down as well. As we know, there's kryptonite, but it's messed with people and makes them mutants and morphs them to having different powers. So, you know, you can't have a series like this without having mutant-powered people. It just is how it is. So it was really good to see. It set up a great framework for the show and a great setup and a great launching point for this series. So yeah, so let's see how the second episode of this series is compared to a great pilot episode. Let's get to it. That's a cool transition to go from the recap to the actual episode. That's pretty cool. And he's creeping in a tree. Well, now we're on episode 2. She actually has 2 stalkers. She's 2 for 2 now. I don't know who's worse, him or Clark. I'm still gonna say him because he's recording her bedroom. Yeah, I'm gonna say him. He's officially so creepy. Okay, he's worse than Clark. I take that back. He's so much worse. He's so creepy. Yeah, a good mom. Good mom. Do something about this. If I want to get the creep factor in, they did a good job. He did a good job. Yeah, I hate bugs. I hate bugs and shows that do bug episodes. And creepy again. Jeez, what is it with Lana and creepy men? That is so cool. I just love seeing Clark randomly use his powers on like the tiniest little thing. Right. Right. Good move, Clark. Good move. Good call, Lana. Good call. Like, you do realize that she has a boyfriend, right? Guys realize that Lana has a boyfriend, right? I don't know how he says that with a straight face. Oh my god. Jesus. Another car accident? You know what? That's not so bad for that time. But not the greatest effect, but you know, 20 years ago, not so bad. So I'm guessing they're still kind of learning his abilities. Oh. Okay, so I guess last episode with the wood chipper, this is the fire, so I guess they're still, I know he hasn't gotten his other abilities, but so I guess they're still trying to figure out the extent of his abilities, I guess. They still don't know much. But I'm surprised he hasn't really got into things growing up that they wouldn't realize the extent of his abilities and the extent of him being indestructible. You'd think they would have found that out along with his speed and strength. Especially working on a farm, accidents happen, especially if you're a kid. That would be scary for anybody. Awkward. It's a little awkward. That's true. I mean, it's been what, 24 hours? It's like a 2-year-old had mud on their hands or something. Just went to town on the walls. Oh, that would be so creepy. Oh my goodness. So I guess turning into a bug man means you put too much mousse in your hair? Ugh, did he just kill his mom? And all she was trying to do was set him straight and to stop stalking women. The first ever shipper of Clana. He ships them so hard. You're messing up, dude. Whitney, you are messing up. Wait, did Clark not go to school? Because they're at school right now, and last time we saw Clark, he was at Alexa's house. So did he just not go to school today? Yeah, he just didn't go to school. Well, that's a cool effect, though. I mean, even by today's standards, that's a cool effect. Give it to her. Give it to her, Clark. Come on, it's right there. You're the hero. Oh, he's gonna mold, isn't he? Oh, God. Oh, God. It has... Ah! That is so gross. Oh, that's cool. That's the first time you see the Clark super speed mode. But he's really learning he's indestructible, isn't he? I just fixed it! I love Jonathan. He's such a good dad. I'm sorry, everything about Chloe's outfit right here, if you look at this, it screams early 2000s with the way the hair is, like the green eyeshadow, the necklace and the top, like that is peak early 2000s. Oh my goodness. I just recognized this. It was just like, wow. Because I probably wore something very similar to this. Most likely I did. And don't get me wrong, Chloe still looks good. Let's put it that way. She still looks good. It's just, that was the fashion back then. And I guarantee I wore something like that. He's like, no. Like I need to run. I'm going to run there. You take the car. I'm going to run. And he's gone. It's just a generic, creepy guy. Of course, there is meteor rocks there. But aren't there like on the other side, so shouldn't it not be affecting him as much as it is right now? Alright, now he's figuring out the lead thing. Good. There you go, Clark. He's figured out one thing. He just kill himself? Oh, now it's... So, is he dead? Did he just turn into bugs and he can reform back into him? And, of course, Whitney's the hero. And Clark gets none of the credit. It's alright, Clark. At least she's safe. Well, that was the second episode of the first season of Smallville. Now, it wasn't as good as the first episode, but it was okay. It was a decent follow-up. It wasn't the best follow-up to a pilot episode, but it wasn't bad. It wasn't half bad. Basically started off literally right off of the pilot. So I guess you could say this would be the second part of the pilot. He had some really good character moments, especially I think it's so funny how much of a fan of Clana that Lex already is. He's been there like a day and he's never even met Lana, but he's their biggest fan already. And it's really funny. It's really funny and pretty awesome. So that was fun. Clark ended up saving Whitney, and you got to see the extent of his powers, or he's still discovering the extent of all he can do. He learned about lead and how lead takes away the effect of the green meteor rocks on him. So, I think it's cool as, these episodes keep going, we're discovering things about him as he's discovering them. And that was really cool. You got a little bit of story between, or a follow-up between Whitney, Clark, and Lana about what Whitney did to him at the end of the pilot episode, with tying him up and being the scarecrow. And I really like Lana in this episode. I thought she handled a couple of situations very well, very maturely, when it came to kind of a little bit of creepiness that Lex came in with at the barn scene with them, and I really like, you know, how he's, you know, talking about, you know, are you with the right person? And she just snaps back and she's like, well, who are you to judge? Like, you just got into town. You certainly have a lot of opinions for this. So I definitely liked how she, you know, she did stand her ground and she stood up to Whitney, and you know, there were a lot of things that she handled really well, especially with, you know, Bug Boy coming on to her. It's just like, okay, like, she handled that very well. She handled a lot of situations very well in this episode, so I'll give her props for that, definitely. And then, of course, Bug Boy was not the greatest villain. He was very generic. He was, you know, there's nothing unique about him. I felt like he was just really creepy, just all out creepy. Everybody is just creeping on Lana. That's literally, so far, what I have learned in this show is that everybody is a creeper and a stalker for Lana. Apparently she is the only girl that that people have feelings for, apparently, in this show right now. So he, you know, he was obviously much worse than Clark. Clark, you know, he had his telescope, which is wrong. You should not do that. But, you know, the Bug Boy was recording her and just being gross and territorial and just complete predator. And it was just, ooh, it's creepy. And I hate bugs. If you couldn't tell during my reaction, I hate bugs. So any episode like this that has like a bug-centered bad guy, oh, I hate it. I hate it, I hate it, I hate it. But, so, yeah, so I guess, I mean, it was an all right episode. It definitely kept laying the foundation for the show and for things to come, especially starting off and continuing on certain relationships and building all the relationships of the show. So, at the end of the day, I'm probably going to give it 7. 7, about a 7, yeah. Wasn't great. Wasn't the worst episode. It definitely was an okay follow-up to the first one, but we'll see. We'll see how these next episodes go, if it's about this or if it gets better, worse, and, you know, as, you know, Clark, you know, figures out his powers, we're gonna go along for his journey. So yeah, solid 7. Yeah, I'll give it 7 out of 10. I don't believe there are any new tallies. There was a truck accident, but I'm only counting the Kent trucks because if I counted every accident, there would be a million. So I'm only going to count actually the Kents if they crashed their truck. So nothing new added to the tally board there. So yeah, so that is my reaction to season 1, episode 2, Metamorphosis of Smallville. Please like, comment, and subscribe if you want to keep following me and keep getting updated on more videos. I am going to do other shows, not just Smallville. So be on the lookout for those. I actually started a Patreon page as well. So if you want to see the full reaction, you can go to my Patreon page. If you want to support, please do that. If you don't want to, no problem. You can see my reactions right here on YouTube. So yeah, so I guess that's it. I'm going to be learning how to close out these a lot better. I mean, this is the part also of me learning how to do these reaction videos. So yeah, so that was the second episode, and I will see you for episode 3.